And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the grand finals of the WardiTV Monday number 11. Ooh, it's been, again, a very intense tournament. Many players have fallen and only 2 have risen here to the finals. We have our top 2, we have our Protoss, and we have our Terran. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have the Danish Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Storm Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the French Terran player, the blue Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. And if you are in the chat, you know what time it is. It's Gamba time, papi. Let's go. It is time to get your predictions going, as predictions are now open in the chat. So place your bets on who you think will be this week's champion. It has been far too long since we've had Clem and MaxPax in the finals of the WardiTV Monday. It is great to be back. Great to be back here. Here we go. And yeah, it's been a while since I've seen these 2 face off as well, whether it's in the WardiTV Monday or the KSRC. It has been a while since they have played each other, so I'm here, I'm ready to experience the TvP. Beautiful. The probe has arrived, going to be tasting away at the SCV, going to try and just disrupt the start, be as annoying as possible. When it comes to these 2 facing off, we have seen, again, MaxPax's tried and true 4-gate blink is still something that you can rely upon. We have seen MaxPax defeat and bring Clem down, even with Clem scouting. We have seen MaxPax take advantage of him, so that's still going to be quite a viable option. Otherwise, we could just see some more mid-game play instead. We've seen the rise in popularity of Storm-based play instead of Robo Colossus after Twilight Council openers. We'll keep an eye out on MaxPax. Likewise, MaxPax is also not afraid to embrace Stargate play that is usually seen on larger maps like Side Delta, maps like Alcyone. We could see Stargate into Phoenix just to gain map control, to get into the mid game as well. In MaxPax, he can be quite a diverse player, doesn't just have to rely on 4-gate blink. It's still kind of like his bread and butter, it's still what he does best, but he can of course still rely on other playstyles and other builds as well. From the side of Clem, just settling in. It's going to be an economic opener, single gas, so it's going to be a Rax expand out of Clem, something more economic, expanding here on the low ground, on location. Bunker is on the way to defend. Clem, of course, did skip his SCV scout, but he now moves out with the Reaper. He does get eyes on the Zealot. Gets a couple of free shots off. Nice control here by Clem. Knocks the Zealot out of the tall grass. Ooh, takes a swipe to the face, but overall has control of the map. The Zealot is going to be trapped here for a little bit longer, and the bunker is done. The goal here was just to buy time for the bunker to complete. With it finishing, the Zealot has that much less, or poses that much less of a threat. Oh my god, Reaper does go down just in time despite the KDA charge. MaxPax does shut down the Reaper, and without the Reaper, you know what that means? No scouting. 0 scouting information from Clem as he sees nothing across the map. He's going to be pinned back at home. And MaxPax, he can threaten the mineral lines. Shading past the bunker. Back at home, we have our take of choice. Could be a Twilight Council blink-based opener. How many gateways? Yet to be determined. We'll see if he goes 2, 3, or 4-gate blink stalker. Still going for the SCV. Does dive into the bunker. And even though MaxPax isn't killing any workers, he is doing some damage. He is denying mining time at the natural. He's denying mining time. Oh, 1 Marine goes down. So does the second. SCV under fire. Does not make it to the bunker in time. So 1 SCV kill, 2 Marines. Picots here with the Adepts. Delayed mining time, of course, as well. And behind this, let's count. Okay, 1 gate in the main. We have 2 gateways here on the low ground, so 3-gate blink. 3-gate blink stalkers out of MaxPax. Just a really safe and secure way to play. Does give him map control, does allow him to apply some pressure, but he should be expanding behind this. He should be going for his 3rd. Speaking of, there it is. Probe is on the way. As it is going to be taken. Drop is moving out. The only SC2 player cuter than Clem is MaxPax. I see a MaxPax, I raise you a Terminator. Okay? Aye. Never forget. Beautiful. As we do get Clem diving into the main, he does get shut down. Very nicely done here by MaxPax. Does shut down the drop. Yo, for those old school Pro League viewers in the chat, Jin Air fans as well. Maru X Terminator. Forever, mate. Forever. Let's go. As we did mention, MaxPax, he went 3-gate blink into a third, so he has Stalkers from map control, but he is transitioning, he is taking up, saturating his third base, and getting to his bay, getting to his forge, getting into his higher form of tech, into Colossus. So Colossus in charge on the horizon. Oh, Stalkers, they dive in. They do make it past the bunker. Remember, these are vanilla Marines. The boys are being pulled. One Stalker does go down. Two Stalker. Oh, not quite. So one Stalker falls. Not a bad trade here from MaxPax. Trading out a Stalker. Meanwhile, Hellion gets across the map. Does confirm saturation. Slips into the natural as well. Gets one probe kill. And might get a second worker. 3 probes in total do go down. As MaxPax, he's just securing himself. Checking the vision here of Clem, he did get eyes on the base, so he's aware of the Colossus. +1 is on the horizon as well, so we're working towards the mid game. Working towards that mid game. MaxPax getting to his gate explosion. So looks like he's, for the most part, done with Blink Stalkers and working towards charge shots, spending his gas, of course, on Colossus. Building up his gateway-based army. Clem, meanwhile, moving out, does avoid the Observer. And he's trying to come in behind those Stalkers. We'll see if he can lock them down. Stalkers, they do blink away. MaxPax, he did spot the Marines. He does get the hell out of here. Does pull back. You can see Clem, he tries to surround, but there's nothing to surround. Clem, he already made it out. Sorry, MaxPax already made it out. It did slip away. Meanwhile, Clem is pushing. We'll see if Clem can threaten the third. He is expanding behind this, landing his third base on location. The army is spotted. Clem, he stims a portion of his Marines. But Colossus are ready. One Marine goes down. Clem, he has to pick up. He's actually diving on the army. Oh my god! He dives on the Colossus. He gets one. One Colossus goes down. Can he get the other? We'll lose the tank. No, never mind. He saves the tank. Clem, he's crazy. How did he pick it up in time? Did save the tank. There's one Colossus left. Second one is on the way. Clem, he goes for another dive, and he will bring down the Colossus. And 3 Marauders in a dream. All he does need. Third Colossus does pop out of the robo. One tank gets targeted. And with this MaxPax, he should be able to hold on. He should survive. Does have a rough trade, though, bleeding out so many Stalkers. And that means there's not enough anti-air. That means that the medevacs escape. Clem, he pulls back, but he knows that he has momentum. He knows how battered and bruised the army is. This is the army. 1 Stalker, 1 Colossus, and 3 Zealots. That is all that MaxPax has right now. Clem knows how close he is to breaking MaxPax. There's another warp in, getting a couple of Stalkers, more Zealots. MaxPax trying to build up an army. Clem, he scans, he sees. He wants it. He wants the Colossus. Gets a couple of shots off, has to pull back. Vikings are being targeted. Second Colossus has arrived. The flanking Marauders. He gets 1. Does he get 2? Not quite. Still better trades for Clem, but he will lose the medevac, and MaxPax holds. Whew. MaxPax, he barely does hold on with that reinforcing Colossus. What's terrifying, though, is that, again, MaxPax is still bleeding out these high-tech units. Stalkers, Colossus, these are expensive losses here for MaxPax. Clem, less so. Clem, he can maintain himself here. Bleeding out Marines and Marauders. Now taking up into Ghosts, getting into a longer game state. A lesser player, a lesser Protoss player would have just died then and there, but MaxPax, he holds, and he's still in this. Moves out with the Stalkers. He maintains his 4th. Getting it saturated. Clem, his own 4th base is halfway done. Well, MaxPax does get punished. Does bleed out a couple of Stalkers. Has to pull away. As Clem catching another Stalker. I mean, catching a Stalker here and there does add up over time. Does add up. MaxPax moving out. Once again, back up to 3 Colossus. Pretty hefty army. A hefty Colossus count. Observer is picked up. MaxPax still being active, rotating around. Does run into the army. Gets the first Ghost. Yeah, 1 Ghost goes down. No EMP. Massive catch here for MaxPax. Dives on the army. Clem is holding his own. Up. MaxPax, he gets a 2nd Ghost. Very nice pickoffs. Does get 2 Ghosts. Backs off. Goes for a Zealot run by. Ooh. And Clem, he was caught with his pants down there. Did not have eyes on the main army rotation. Speaking of, oh, once again, MaxPax trying to snipe those Ghosts. Prism into the natural. The Vikings are going ham though. They do punish the Colossus. That's 1 Colossus going to be going down. 1 more volley. Does get it. At the same time, Zealot drop into the natural, but there's a bunker in position and reinforcements. The Zealot drop does nothing. And the Prism gets hunted down. MaxPax bleeding off too much too quickly. The Prism, the Zealots, a Colossus. So a better fight, a better trade for Clem. MaxPax pulls away. One of the Colossus barely standing. 13 HP. So MaxPax tries to get into his 5th. Oh. Doesn't quite get the Ghost. And he pulls back, saves the Ghost. Once again, MaxPax trying to be active. Army is revealed. Clem does have to retreat, waiting for reinforcements. More Vikings are amassing. A nice concave. Colossus are a bit exposed. EMP does connect. Does connect, but Clem, he has to back up. Yeah, just too much of a supportive army here for MaxPax. Does get the hell out of there with the Colossus, though. They're so close to going down. They're so low. Good snipe. We have it. We have Blink DTs on the way. Let's go. What's important here as the armies have been clashing, and I would say that Clem has been taking the better engagements. What's more important though is that MaxPax's economy has been left untouched. He's on 5, soon to be 6 bases. He's freely mining from all these mineral patches. There we go. Clem, now he scans, now he sees saturation, and he has to do something about this economy. As MaxPax has been freely expanding. You can see now Clem going for a split push. He has spotted the bases of MaxPax. He knows. He's moving in, gets a Stalker. Jeez, that's 4 Colossus. That's a lot of Colossus. Oh my god. But the 5th base, or sorry, the 6th base is denied. Couple of probes as well. Finally, some economic damage. Main army's going to be clashing. Clem, he wasn't quite ready. Oh, Ghost goes down. And Clem losing a little bit too much here. Does get a Colossus. Only 1, though. Drop into the main. Clem is being pulled apart. Does commit across the map, but back at home he is hurting. Zealots catch reinforcements. Clem, he plummets in supply. And MaxPax, if he can deal with this drop, he can push, he can overwhelm. There's a 30 supply lead. Delta's still wreaking havoc. Still catching reinforcements. MaxPax is going to be the first to max out. And he can commit. He can push. He's getting another Colossus. See, who needs Storm? Who needs Disruptors, mate? Just mass Colossus charge. Let's go. Again, MaxPax has no gases here at the 4th, at the 5th, at the 6th base. What's important is been able to maintain that Colossus count and just reinforce with mass Zealots. And without EMPs, Clem, you can't really contest against this. Without EMPs or splash damage. Nice EMP on the Stalkers. Vikings, they get one Colossus. Choke point is brutal. MaxPax, he has to respect it. He has to back off. Going for a massive DT counterattack. There is one turret, but we have seen a mass DT take down a planetary in 2 swipes. MaxPax is getting ready. He's hoping to distract first. He's pushing in. And he pulls the trigger. He's going for it. He's keeping Clem's attention here on the center of the map. Zealots, they hit the left-hand side. DTs, they go for the planetary. Does go down. Again, Clem, he wasn't able to pay attention, wasn't able to focus on the harass. That's 22 SCVs falling. 23 even. All it takes is a couple of seconds, and the DTs, they don't care about your planetaries, mate. Oh my god. And Clem is out of steam. His economy is in the gutter. He's down to 42 SCVs. Doesn't really have an economy to speak of. And MaxPax is still maxed out. And MaxPax can overwhelm. Just with purely a gateway army. We are going to be trading a base for a base, but this base is more important for Clem. Clem, he retreats. He has to race back home. And MaxPax, he can always recall. He can always commit and then recall back home. As DTs, they hit the third. They get 10 more SCVs. Then rotating around. I mean, his main army is more complex, but now disruptors have hit the field. Uh-oh. All it takes is a couple of Novas. And MaxPax can catch Clem out. Vikings, they commit. Colossus are falling. Nova goes off. Clem, he can still actually try to take this fight, but oh my god, there are so many zealots behind this. Nice EMP. The zealots, they melt. Yo, Clem, he's breaking through. He's all in. Clem, he's all in at this point. He has nothing else behind this. He has to end the game here and now. Nova goes off. And it connects. Massive connection. GG gets called, and MaxPax will take game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Clem was so aggressive this game. Winding it back, if you remember, Clem, he was hyper committed early on. If you remember, there were these moments where MaxPax was barely surviving with 1 Colossus and with a handful of gateway units. That happened like 2 or 3 times, where Clem was trading better, that is true, but he wasn't quite killing MaxPax. MaxPax, he was barely surviving with the bare minimum. And more importantly, as he was surviving, he was getting away with his 3rd base, getting away with his 4th base, getting away with his 5th base as well. Like we mentioned at the time, right? It was important, the fact that even though Clem, he was able to take some better fights at times and able to almost cripple MaxPax, because MaxPax's economy was left untouched, and because eventually over time he was maintaining and keeping his Colossus count safe and sound, he was able to overwhelm. Did overwhelm with just mass zealot, mass gateway army. GG. GG, well played. Sure, we saw disruptors towards the end, but we didn't really need them. He was doing fine without them. And GG. GG, well played. MaxPax does take a lead in the series. And now we're getting into game number 2. Going to be loading into a much larger map this time. Oceanborn can be more conducive to these more aggressive styles because it is a bit of a smaller map, but now loading into a larger map instead, and we'll see how our players do adapt. I would imagine that MaxPax will not be relying on that same strategy multiple games in the series, maybe once more, but for the most part I would expect some differing builds. As spawning in the top right hand corner of Alcyone, we have the red Protoss player representing Storm Gaming, leading the series 1-0. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have the blue Terran player representing Team Liquid from Atlanta, France. It is Clem. Here we go. So we are settling in. Here we go. And again, I'm sure both players will be adjusting their approach here when it comes to game 2. So MaxPax was able to get away with a very, very greedy economy, and that's really what propelled him in that game. And again, I'm sure Clem is fully aware of that as well. which is also why players typically do adjust their builds over the course of the series. No, you don't want to rely on the same thing multiple games in a row. At this level of play, that will get you killed. Like that, that's a good way to get outmaneuvered and to be punished. So MaxPax does arrive, just being as annoying as possible here in the early game. Oh! Almost gets the SCV and pulls away. So as a reminder, last game MaxPax did go for a 3-gate blink opener into a third, into Colossus. We'll keep an eye out for MaxPax's tech of choice, see if he goes blink again, see if he goes 3-gate again. So we'll keep an eye on MaxPax. So I'm catching up in the chat. Why are they playing this event on the old patch? You mean on the current patch? So if you haven't been watching, Open Cups, all the Open Cups have been on the PTR. The KSRC, Tenacious Turtle Tussle, Sparkling Tuna Cup, the Pigosaur Monday as well. The only Open Cup out of like the 5 that we have that doesn't play on the PTR is the Wardi Monday. The Wardi Monday has never been on the PTR. So if you haven't been watching over the past 2 months, then maybe you don't know. Maybe you're a little bit unaware. But for the past 2 months, while every other weekly Open Cup has been on the PTR, the WardiTV Monday is not. The reason why is because the WardiTV Monday is partnered and sponsored by OSC, which is an online tournament like championship. They do provide OSC points, and they require the game to be on the current patch. They do require it, and Wardi has chosen to stay partnered with OSC for the Monday Cups. Just as a heads up. So that's the reason why. For some context, the other Open Cups also were partnered with OSC, and because of that, we would also get some funding for them. But we chose to end partnership with OSC at least until the PTR ends to actually host them on the PTR. So, for example, like Sparkling Tuna Cup Sparkling Tuna Cup and the Tenacious Turtle Tussle, we used to be working with OSC on the events. They would help, provide some prize money and OSC points. We have terminated that until the PTR ends, basically. Wardi chose not to. So that is the reason why. As Adept does slip into the main, gets a full scout. Now focusing on the games, we have our tech of choice. Once again, it's going to be a Twilight Council, going to be a blink-based opener here by MaxPax. Once again, meanwhile, we do see a dive into the natural. Doesn't quite get much done, though. As Zedep got a full scout of the main base, gets eyes on the 1-1-1. We do have tank production and Banshee production very early on. So a very aggressive build here by Clem. This has been very trendy over the past, like, half a year of play. Going tank Banshee, very aggressive. Wouldn't mind dropping to the main. MaxPax, he does respond in time, does pull away. Despite that, 4 probe kills. That should not have happened. Not bad. So 2 probe kills per Widowmine. Very nicely done here by Clem. Got a bit more damage. 3rd Widowmine did survive, but last is going to go down. Or 2nd Widowmine even. So MaxPax will clean this up, but the drop got more damage than what really should have occurred. As MaxPax now it's time to counterattack. He has 3 gateways. He has Blink. He's going to be pushing in. As MaxPax is trading well, he does get 3 SCVs already. Gets 3 SCV kills. Nice control. Doesn't lose any stalkers. Does pull away. MaxPax pulls back, but remember the 1-1-1, the Cloak Banshees, they're moving out. Cloak Banshee towards the main base. MaxPax doesn't really have anything in position. He's committing. Commits into natural, takes down the bunker. Where are the tanks? The tank is further back in the main. Boys are being pulled. Banshee forced to reveal itself, but the first Banshee gets across the map. Probes are going to go down. Likewise, so are SCVs. Clemmy pulls back to the tank. Big tank boys going off. Banshee does survive. That's going to be 4 probe kills so far. I say 4, getting up to 6, getting up to 7. 7 workers going down. And sounds so far, yeah, partnership, yeah. On hold, hiatus. Meanwhile, Stalkers, they dive into the main. They do deny Blink. Oh, sorry, Blink? Stim, what I meant to say. Stim is going to be denied. That's actually a massive move here. Massive pickup. Ay, ay, ay. Clem without Stim, he can't break out. No shot. He is stuck here in his 2 bases. MaxPax, he has map control. He's containing Clem. Clem cannot expand. He dives in, gets a tank. And he may just end it here and now. There is detection. Boys are being pulled. Banshee falls. GG gets called. And MaxPax pulls Clem apart and takes game number 2. GG. GG, well played. MaxPax does take the second game. Clem, he invested quite heavily into his Banshee harass, and he did do some damage with the Banshees, but as you saw, the downside of it teching into those Banshees is that that does delay your tank production. We saw that tanks eventually came into play, but it was just the 1 tank for Clem. That is why the tank count was lower than normal, is because of the Cloak Banshees, and we saw that it wasn't quite worth it there, or I should say, as he was going Banshees, MaxPax did a really good job at punishing Clem, him and getting damage done while Clem was vulnerable. That's like a better way of putting it, is that Clem did leave himself vulnerable using his build, and MaxPax took full advantage of that, was hyper aggressive, and did find those vulnerabilities in the defense of Clem. GG. Now we're diving into game number 3. We go. But yes, as RML is saying, it's sponsored by OC, and they have the rule that it has to be on the current ladder version. Here we go. As we are getting into our next game, into potentially the final game of the series here. Oh my god. As it's been a pretty intense series so far. One more win here, and our Protoss player will be our champion. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Amphion, we have our Danish Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Psystorm Gaming. One more is all he needs to be this week's WardiTV Monday champion. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the French Terran player, the blue Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. We go. As MaxPax is looking to spice things up, going for his proxy across the map, a lot more of an assertive build here from MaxPax, and if Clem opens up with a Rax Expand, that's going to be ideal for the Protoss. Speaking of, it is going to be a Rax Expand. Single gas opener, Clem is going for the CC on the low ground, and MaxPax is looking to abuse that. So far, everything is working out well for MaxPax when it came to his build of choice. Don't usually see Clem die descended Blink build in current patch. It's like the only opener in this matchup. We do see Stargate openers in this matchup. If you've been watching MaxPax versus Clem over the past couple of weeks, MaxPax does mix in Stargate openers as well. But as we mentioned before, Clem did leave himself vulnerable by investing into Banshee production over tank production in the last game, which is why Blink Stalkers could overwhelm him. It all just kind of piled on, all played into each other. And here come those Zealots. Again, MaxPax, he gambled a little bit here in hopes that Clem would be more economic, and so far it's working out well, but we'll see. It will still come down to the execution, as the first wave of Zealots are on the way. They're going to be waddling into the main, and they will be looking to delay and maybe even deny the expansion. Can they force a cancel? If they can, that's going to be huge. The Marine trying to buy some time. 2 more Marines on the way. It's a lot of DPS already here on the CC. There's the cancel. Massive moment from MaxPax. This is the bare minimum, or this is, I say the bare minimum. This is what he did want out of this build, and now we can expand. So MaxPax, he will take an economic lead here against Clem. Stalker has arrived. He can pick away at the Marines. He can at least try to. Boys being pulled. First Marine is going to get up. Is going to survive, just barely. Oh, no. Marine goes down. He gets 1. MaxPax, he wants the other. He gets 2. 2 Marines go down. And from here, MaxPax, he can back off. And now it's all about containing. With the addition of this Cyclone, Clem, he should be able to break out, and he should be able to force MaxPax back. Until then, a second Stalker has arrived. He wants another Marine. Up! And he gets one. He gets one more Marine here. Again, just making use of the HP on these Stalkers. Going for the Depot. Depot goes down. And MaxPax even does chip away at the Cyclone. Oh, no shot. Oh, God. Not like this. The Cyclone goes... Is that game? Like, that's it. Like, there's no more Cyclones. We're supply blocked. Clem, he's supply blocked. There we go. CC does complete. Backup Cyclones on the way, but these are brutal losses for Clem. Ay, ay, ay. That is just far too much here. Like, losing that Cyclone was a massive blunder. So Clem with some miscontrol. Twilight Council's on the way, working towards Blink, of course. Meanwhile, with all these Stalkers, the CC is delayed, at least until the Cyclone arrives. But even then, it may just be too much. We were hoping for a back-and-forth series here, but this is just a very rough start for Clem. Medevac has arrived so we can juggle those Marines. Can juggle them back. Likewise, nice control there, saving the Cyclone. Clem, he's breaking out. But the Cyclone takes a lot of hits. One more volley and it will fall. Stalkers are low, but Max actually just reinforces. He's getting his base up and running. It's fully saturated. More Stalkers have arrived, and now he can just focus on the Medevac. Doesn't even care. Medevac goes down, and that's all we had left. G, the 1G. As MaxPax will take the series 3-0, becoming this week's WardiTV Monday 11 champion. GG. GG, well played. Oh my god, again, the big moment there was losing the first Cyclone. The first Cyclone going down was game then and there. I mean, it was two things. It was a Cyclone going down, and because the Depot died earlier, he was supply blocked as well. So like, it was just, everything went from bad to worse real quick there for Clem. Very little room for error there in that early game defense. And again, there was a bit of a gamble there. MaxPax, he was hoping that Clem would open up Rax Expand. Clem did. Clem, he opened up economically, so MaxPax, he was able to make use of his proxy gateway, was able to keep it hidden, of course, was able to sneak up on Clem, and things, yeah, went quite well there. Went quite well for MaxPax. GG, well played. Likewise, slowly picking off those Marines over the course of the early game as well. It all just added up, and yeah, it was just not, it was not Clem's day here today. You could definitely tell, like, Clem does get very emotional. We have seen him be very, very emotional on cams when it comes to certain matchups, and hopefully he can take a break here, he can get some rest and recover and recuperate before the next Open Cup. Oh, so GG, well played. Clem, he will have some time to rest up and take a break. Don't you worry. Of course, the next Open Cup is going to be in, what, like 10 hours? 10 hours time. For those that are curious, the Kalara Steadfast Wardi Cup, the KSRC, is on hiatus or has concluded. There is no KSRC this week, so just bear that in mind. There are talks that maybe they bring it back in another fashion, but for the time being, it is no longer a thing. But we will still be running the Pigosaur Mondays, the Sparkling Tuna Cups, the Nation Total Tussles. We go from 5 open Cups to like 4, so that's fine. Like we, like we still have plenty of Open Cups that all these players do compete in. So we still do have them throughout the week. So our next cast is again in 10 or so hours time. Let me just double check. Let me double check. Yeah, 9.5 hours. 9.5 hours. Also, my apologies. Apparently, I was talking about how there's no Kalara Steadfast Wardi Cup. There isn't. It looks like Wardi is going to be hosting a tournament. It's called the Wardi Stream Royal Rumble. Question mark? Is this like an FFA? What is this? What's happening? What's going on? Oh, it's an invitational. Okay, never mind. Looks like there's going to be like an invitational in that time slot. Never mind. So yeah, the next Open Cup is going to be in 9 hours and 30 minutes. So we're going to be there, of course, casting it live as we always are. So make sure you're a part of that. And again, usually Clem and MaxPax are a part of that as well. So again, they have 9 hours to rest up, to recover, to kind of reset their mindset a little bit before they compete again. So, let's go. No Alima League. Alima League was over the weekend. Alima League was like 2 days ago. 2 days ago. And the next Alima League is going to be when? Next week. All right, sorry, I should also emphasize this. There's no Alima League tomorrow because we had it 2 days ago. The reason why we had it 2 days ago is because Crank is unavailable this week. So because Crank is not available this week, we had 2 Alima Leagues last week. We had 2 Alima Leagues back to back to make up for that. So just as a heads up, if you missed out on Alima League 231, VODs are on Jijik, and VODs will be available on YouTube tomorrow. VODs are scheduled to be uploaded tomorrow, so the VODs are available if you missed out, just as a heads up. So no Alima League this week because we had 2 last week. 2 last week, yeah. Here we go. Smashing disconnect. No, I don't see him smashing his keyboard. He's not. Yo, Clem is an Idra. Like, what's this fantasy that we're making, Pat? Just frustrated, I'm sure. Just frustrated. Here we go. Base losses is a thing, but MaxPax rarely uses it. Here uses it more. Yeah, you're right in that. MaxPax, he does rarely use feeding spaced openers. Not never, but like rarely. Like once in a series sort of thing, you know. But with that, thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much for tuning in. Again, our next broadcast is going to be in 9.5 hours. Congratulations, of course, to MaxPax for having a very dominant showing here in this week's broadcast. Congratulations, and we'll see if he continues that trend. What's important here as well is that both MaxPax and Clem, they go back and forth in series. 1 week Clem can 3-0 MaxPax, the other week MaxPax can 3-0 Clem. Now, that's what's important though, is that the upper echelons of StarCraft is quite competitive, and these players do go back and forth, which is quite healthy for the game. We mentioned before that even earlier in this broadcast, MaxPax, he went to the ace match against Gumiho. Gumiho was able to force MaxPax to the ace match. Classic was able to force Clem to the ace match as well. So clearly here, these top players, they, again, can threaten each other. We even spoke earlier how last week, Trap 3-2'd MaxPax, and Estrella 2-0'd MaxPax as well. So all of these players go back and forth, which is always more exciting. Always more exciting here whenever there's not as much dominance by a certain player over everyone else. But regardless, GG. GG, well played. With that, we'll see you guys tomorrow for the Picker Store Monday. Likewise, we have 2 broadcasts tomorrow. After the Picker Store Monday, we're going to be live with the StarCraft Evolution League Group A. Now, I do know that the group stage did take place over the weekend, but we were busy casting Firegrow Cup, so we were covering other events. We were still casting, we were still live, but we weren't able to cover SEL live. So StarCraft Evolution League, the full championship, was live over the weekend. We'll be going over all the replays, all of the group stage this week. So throughout this week, throughout, you know, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, throughout the entire week, we do have SEL just scheduled almost every day. So we're going over the group stage, and I'm going to be dragging Yaku on. Yaku of the Zaku, he's going to be casting StarCraft Evolution for the first time. So if you're interested, we got you there. If you watched it live, or if you already saw the results on Wikipedia, do avoid spoiling us, because I have not looked at any results. I've avoided them entirely, so has Yaku, so we're going to be casting it for the first time, catching up on that group stage. We're also going to be going over the playoffs, the quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals in a couple of weeks as well after they get played out, also via replays. So we got you covered there when it comes to StarCraft Evolution. We'll be going over all the replays, man. All the replays. Otherwise, thanks so much. Thanks so much for watching. We do appreciate it. We'll see you guys tomorrow for some more StarCraft. Otherwise, stick around. We're gonna be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. Who is live at the moment? Vindicta. Mate, what is Vindicta doing awake right now? Oh my god, Miguelito is streaming, Mr. Sadzak is streaming as well. We'll find someone to send everyone over to. Who is live at the moment? Figure it out. Also, I should... also, bit of a humble... Oh no! Did I lose it? Never mind. Oh wait, no, I'm in Europe, of course. Also, I should also humble brag while I can. I was very surprised, but the ladder reset today. I think this morning, and we hit GM for the first time. Let's go, papi. The smudging on the ladder has paid off. We hit GM for the first time today. Let's go, papi. Let's go. So exciting times. Of course, it's the beginning of the season, so GM, the threshold is a little bit lower. But I will try to have a ladder session maybe tomorrow. Ooh, we don't have a lot of time. Maybe on Friday or over the weekend, I'll try and have like a ladder stream on my personal channel. So if you're interested, you can follow me, light_VIP. I do stream whenever I can, basically whenever we're not casting. If we're not casting, then I'm usually live on my personal channel, so you can check me out there if you're interested. Otherwise, follow the CranKy Ducklings everywhere else. You know, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Discord, all things CranKy Ducklings. You can follow us. We do go live with StarCraft on a daily basis. Because we cast so much StarCraft, I don't get to ladder too much, but I'll try to find some time to ladder at some point. One of these days, I'll try. But yeah, otherwise, thanks so much. Thanks so much for watching. You can also support us on Patreon. You can see under MaxPax's name, we have a Patreon set up there with our goals that does fund our tournaments. It does so we can host our events, our weeklies that we do host on the PTR, for example. All funded through Patreon, so it's all there if you want to support us. Otherwise, stick around. We're going to be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. I haven't raided Vindicta in a long time, so we'll give some love to Miguelito. Otherwise, see you next time. See you next time. Ciao, papi, ciao. See you next time.